Well, it started raining, so I had to make a trip into town. You know, I couldn't do anything here, so I ran in. And one of the things I was looking for was some buckets. Well, there is a local, well, not local, but in the closest town, or the biggest close town, that sells hardware. So it's an Ace Hardware, and by God, they sell hardware. So there was a few things I was looking for. One of the things was these galvanized tin roof flashings for chimney. Unusually hard to find. You know, everything now is the fancy double wall stainless steel stuff. I was just looking for the old ones. Well, they had them. I got 3 of those. And I got a pile of buckets. 5 of these. 10 quart, 2.5 gallon buckets. You know, I've got all these plastic buckets that I get for nothing, but they don't last and they're just kind of annoying. But they made the buckets in 3 sizes, so I got actually all 3 sizes. Now there's an interesting thing. You know, the company is Behrens, yeah, manufactured in Winona, Minnesota. They've been doing it for over 100 years, making buckets. But now what I thought was interesting, all of these buckets are made in Mexico. These. Now you can get buckets that are made in the U.S., but they aren't made like these. These buckets are the hot dip galvanized. Now evidently, you know, with our EPA stuff, they can't do that galvanizing here, that hot dip stuff. So they have to do it in Mexico. So that's where all these buckets came from. The other stuff was from here, you know, and that's galvanized too, but that's not that hot dip stuff. You know, this is just a regular thin galvanizing. This stuff is durable, but I'm pretty sure you can't do that here anymore. And this basket is the same way. It's a bushel basket, but I'm sure that's made in this country, but it's because it's not the hot dip stuff. You pay more for the hot dip. And what I wanted that for was to put underneath the planer. I'm trying to save all the wood shavings. And these I use for ash pans. You know, they're the right size that they'll fit underneath my stove. You know, so I kind of like to have them. It's handy. You can pull the ashes out. Make sure the coals are all dead before you haul them out. You know, how many people burn houses down with vacuum cleaners in the ash pile. Now, these are the ash shovels. And actually, these are 3 of them, but I got I think 5 of them total. But these are pretty good. These are heavier than the average one, but these are made in Canada. So we got a regular NAFTA deal going on here. So like I say, they are quite a bit heavier. The other ones I've had trouble with them bending and stuff, but these are kinked in such a way as to be pretty strong, and it seems to be a little heavier tin. So I stocked up on them. But the funny thing was, that when I went up to the register, the woman that was rigging it up, you know, I'm sure she's like the owner's wife or something. But she gave me a 10% discount on all of the tin, which I thought was a pretty cool deal. You know, because I wasn't asking for it, but she just said, well, you're buying so much. Well, I think part of it was they're doing road construction in front of their place. It's very hard to get to their place. But I was determined because it's the only place that sells honest to God hardware anymore. It's getting harder to find the stuff that I need locally, so I end up ordering it, and I'd prefer, if I could, buy it locally, you know, and especially to get the hot dip, you know, that's what I was looking for. But it does say, made in Mexico for this company. You know, and I thought even like these, you know, these are just a handy all-around bucket, but I have to be careful of not the buckets and the pans I can't leave out where the horse can get at them, because the horses develop this habit of banging on, like a bucket, they'll smash a bucket. Especially if you feed them, like if you feed a horse out of that, he's going to start banging on it, because they figure if they bang it up, there'll be more food, and there will be, because you'll come out hollering at the horse. One time I had a regular bucket out there, and I could hear this banging going on, and then the horse would stop, and he'd look at the door, he had me in the window, waiting there. Is he going to come out? Bang some more? Is he coming now? That's a bad habit. They can train you that way. You kind of got to watch. Horses and dogs will do the same thing. With the horses, the only thing that's safe is I got them rubber buckets that they make for hauling acid and stuff. That works for a horse, but tin you can't use around a horse. Or even pigs will rip them up, though I think these are designed for feeding pigs. But I just thought I'd mention them. You could still buy buckets from this company. But, like I say, this stuff is getting harder to find, because though when she was looking at the price, they had plastic pails in there that cost as much as what these galvanized do. So I'm pleased. They'll last a lifetime if you don't put water in them and let them freeze, or let a horse bang the crap out of them. But them plastic ones, if they sit out in the sun, they just deteriorate. Set them down too hard, the bottom cracks on them. I'm just tired of dealing with them. Well, one other thing I did when I was in town, I went to a thrift store. I always go to thrift stores. Picked up a step ladder, and I was actually considering buying a step ladder. And this is a good, solid, heavy-duty one for $20 rather than paying $100 for something I really wouldn't trust. So when it dries out again, I'll find her that. But that looks like a pretty good, dependable ladder. There's Junior. He'd like to be out. But she's a soggy day. I don't think I'm going to be doing much on the roads, at least for a couple days. For a week. But I got stuff to do here if it quits raining. Now I'm going to put this tin away or the horse will start making music.